Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Professor Phil, and this video will look at the issue of things going over the horizon, which manifests as disappearing bottom first or arriving top first. Now those of you who have watched the first 3 Flat Earth flogging videos will be aware of Mrs. B. You also know that Mrs. B doesn't believe flat earthers are as dumb as bags of rocks. Her initial view was that the flat earthers are big time trolls. Well, after looking at the evidence, I think we can compromise. The fact is, some flat earthers actually run businesses and hold down jobs, so they can't be as dumb as a flat earther needs to be to think Earth is flat. The alternative, other than troll, is that they have other motives that fulfill some psychological or social need. Let's consider this example. Surely nobody actually believes that a snake talked, or that 2 kangaroos and their wombat mates, plus a couple of echidnas and koalas, hopped and ran all the way to a boat in the Middle East and then back again. I wonder which state they settled on initially, and how in just 6,000 years got to populate the entire Aussie continent, as well as develop different species of macropodidae, such as our boxing kangaroo, Macropus rufus, and who knows how native Australians got here. My point is that people act as if they do believe it for reasons that have nothing to do with the facts. But that's okay. They can rationalize it by declaring anything is possible if God wills it to be. I understand that. Or you can be like most Christians and Jews and accept that the Bible contains allegorical stories. I get that too. But they are not passing off these allegorical stories as science. That's the difference. So Gary Wabenga, you're off the hook on being labelled a bag of rocks level dumb. 10th man, quantum eraser and flatzoid? Not so much. No. Maybe your flat earth teacher Mitchell should have a quiet word with you. Now let's pick on Gary to help us tackle the subject of this video. So the problem comes back to objects being obscured by horizon. I'm deliberately not addressing the black swan photo in detail in this video. I will take on that nonsense and the charlatans and liars promoting it in another video. So let's first look at some examples of objects beyond the horizon and then discuss what Gary Wabenga and others pretending to be bag of rock level dumb say about it. Here is a static example of objects observed to be over the horizon. Notice that the further back they are, the less of the bottom we can see. Now the charlatans will immediately refer to geometric horizon versus apparent horizon, as if they magically cancel each other out, rendering the earth as flat. Well, get this through your thick heads once and for all. Boats are obscured by actual water at the horizon. The location where you observe this horizon and how much or how little it does obscure depends on the atmospheric conditions near the surface of the water body. Exactly like if you climbed a hill, you get to see more of the objects and the horizon is further away. I know many struggle with this. That is how the charlatans get away with the scam. They rely on creating confusion among bag of rocks level dumb people so that they can fleece them. Neither the charlatans or their victims have any discernible self-respect. However, if we examine the tops of the turbines, no matter how far they are, no part of the blades have reached the diffraction limit where we can no longer resolve the detail. Neither are the turbines far enough in the distance such that perspective makes them too small to resolve. In fact, we can see the blades perfectly. We can see the detail and we can see the change in angular size is not representative of objects very far away. Clearly, we can't see the bottom because the water at the horizon is blocking it. Can we use this observation to determine if Earth is a globe or flat? Let's work on that. What would we predict if Earth is flat? Well, firstly, Without doubt, the turbines would get smaller and smaller in all directions until we could no longer resolve individual blades. But we would still be able to see the whole lot to the water. To get to resolve the blades again, we only need a bigger telescope with a wider aperture. We could therefore always see the turbines as long as the atmosphere allowed us to. There is no mechanism on a flat Earth to explain the actual observation. No diffraction limit, no significant change in angular size because of the perspective, just progressively more of the bottom obscured with distance by the horizon, and no hope of using a larger telescope to view more of the bottom. If you're not convinced already, then have a look at this row of fishing net poles. Notice how they get smaller the further away they are. Look at these electric poles across the water. Notice that they get smaller. Look at the light pole illustration and the light spot underneath each pole. Look at the trees. A good telescope would allow you to see all of the trees in the distance. This is perspective, Gary. No elastic band parlor trick, replete with made-up physics and word salad, is needed. Stop bullshitting to yourself, Gary. So what if the surface is curved? Then, as objects move further away, the globe model predicts that we will see progressively less and less of it from the bottom. This is precisely what we observe. In fact, if we now examine both flat and spherical, it becomes abundantly clear that even if we accept that the wind turbines closest to the observer have their bottoms obscured because of foreshortening or smooshing or other made-up reasons, it does not explain why the turbines further away have even more of their bottom smooshed. What about the turbines that are directly in front of the others further back? There is no smooshing involved, so why can we only see very little, just like the blades? I heard Gary on various channels squirm out of this type of questions by making up his own laws of perspective and physics, but never any coherent explanation for what we see with the turbine farm. My challenge to Gary or anyone else is to explain the observation based on a flat surface. Number one, why do the bottoms of turbines disappear long before any diffraction limit is reached? Number two, why will a telescope not make it possible to see more of the turbines, much less the bottoms? Number three, why are the turbines being blocked from view long before they get too small to see? Number four, explain the observations we get as a result of this ship moving away. Number five, why can't we use a telescope to see more of the ship? Yet we could see the whole ship if we increased our elevation. Now, consider the black swan photo and another photo by the same camera from the same elevation at a different time. Why are these photos different? If foreshortening, smooshing, or other reasons explain half the rigs missing, why are these reasons not the case in the black swan photo? To anyone who does not have a cult-like reason to convince themselves that they should hide from reality, it's clear that only a globe model explains the observations I have demonstrated. The fact is, you cannot unsee what I showed you, Gary. You can squirm around desperately trying to make your own physics, but you know it's bullshit. You can even try the Oakley trick by introducing semantics to hide behind. Of course, Oakley has an excuse. He needs the bullshit to make a living by fleecing genuinely mentally challenged people. But what's your excuse? A desperate need to feel special? You know that you must lie to yourself in order for you to continue acting like you actually believe Earth is flat. The alternative is that you are genuinely mentally challenged. Short of an assessment, let's say, how about you choose which one suits you? Well, folks, I know that to people with normal intellect and no ulterior reason to bullshit to themselves, this Flat Earth flogging video has flogged Flat Earth to death 6 ways from Sunday. And the next flogging of this now well and truly dead horse will be even more devastating for Flat Earth. Please watch out for yet another Flat Earth flogging video that I will release very shortly. Please like and subscribe, and please write a comment. Flat Earthers are welcome as well. Just be reasonable. Cheers.